All right, it's one of those mindful videos, right? And it's like, um, I don't know how it starts really, but it's like, all right, so
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
all right, so there's some random woman in her 30s, and she can barely afford anything at this point in time. And a couple of years down the line, and she's worth over $500 million. All right, okay, fine. You might be thinking this guy's lying. That's an exception. Cool. Random French kid, right? From France, in it, and he's playing soccer as a teenager, but he's not playing for your cities at this point in time. He's not playing league football at all, and in his 20s, he's playing in the very lowest division of French football. And you fast forward a couple of years later, and all of a sudden, he's got back-to-back Premier League titles with different teams and a World Cup under his name. I mean, generally, there isn't an age to do anything. All right, things just happen. The idea that at this age you should, it's an old idea that exists, and I'll maybe put some research into it. But an old idea with the whole back in the maybe 90s and the whole American dream of back in my day, and it was a general notion of people at this age should have this done. People weren't necessarily checking up 24/7, but it was a general idea of that time. And you'd think that with how far we've come as a species and how far we've developed and revolutionized everything, you'd think that maybe, just maybe, by now that would have been negated. And if anything, it's become worse. It's everywhere. Back then there was an idea that your parents would have, or your parents and their friends and all the people would have and bestow upon you, and you'd bestow on your kids. But people of the same age, young kids, teenagers, didn't necessarily put that much pressure on each other. It always came externally. But now it's the opposite. But now you are just trying to have a good time when you'll open Instagram and you'll find a random post by like some millionaire 12-year-old basically, and his whole thing is like 12 figures at 12 years old, can't do algebra but I pop all the bras, like random shit like that. And just get into the fact that it's not always like that. It really isn't. It's not. People do things at their own time, at their own age, that God decides. And I especially hate people on social media that say like, 18-year-old and I did this, what's your excuse? 16-year-old and I did this, what's your excuse? 25-year-old and I did this, what's your excuse? I think those people tend to forget that they're not actually in control of every aspect of their lives. They could somewhat be control of how much work they want to put into certain things, but life exists independently to their efforts and their actions. And their hard work alone, or I don't think would warrant the success that they would have gotten, because I guarantee that people that work much harder than the millionaires that you see, I guarantee it, there's ladies that are working 8 to 6s, not 9 to 5s, 8 to 6s, getting on a taxi, going to work, providing for a family, doing this on a regular basis, and she doesn't get the same monetary reward. People forget that they're not always in control of their situations, and there's if you want to call it luck, a hint of, if you want to call it probability and chance, a hint of divine interference. Regardless though, it's not linear. It's not work hard, automatically become rich. It's not. There are people that have worked extremely hard and are not rich. There are people that have not worked at all and have gotten everything given to them. And I suppose it also matters what you really value in life. Moreover, this isn't some spiritual journey I undertook to discovering and opening my third eye, whatever the nonsense people make up. This wasn't taught in school. GTA San Andreas, yep. For legal purposes, I did play that game when I was 18 years old, somehow in like 2007, but okay. The main point is in GTA you had cheats you could put on the game. So you could grind it out and play missions and get money and buy what you want, or you could just put cheats in and instantly get what you want. And when you're very young, this is a lot of fun. You just put a few buttons in, and that's, lots of cash. And you can buy whatever you want in the game and do whatever you want. But eventually, there's no point in trying because you can get it either way. And so that money in its infinite amount becomes worthless. A lot could be said for the things that we have in life. I think certain things make certain people happy that don't necessarily make other people happy. And that's because we like different things and we are different people. Okay, well, what's the conclusion? Right? What's the answer? So do I have the answer? No. Nix. Not at all. I don't. But I would like to believe that it's something along these lines.
Hey, hey, hey.